Good evening, all. Welcome to Life Made Up of Questions. Today, we are having our beloved guest, Dr. Remyanali, who has already screened lot of several other talks also, which is socially relevant topics. So today's main focus is on the mental health of men in relationship. So this is one of the socially relevant topic which need to be addressed in today's scenario. So welcome you, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Ji. Thank you so much, Dr. Hari Krishnan Ji, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to talk before you today. You have a wonderful topic, which we are less touching every day. So thank you so much.
Yeah. So I think we can start our discussion because nowadays we can see whether it may be newspaper, social media, or television news. We are going through a lot of issues which is affected by both men and women. But we are only focusing upon the problems faced by women. But we have to think the other side also. There is some issues related to men also. What are the mental strain or struggle which they are also facing? So first question, as a woman, I'm asking you this question. We want to get reviews from your side. So my first question is that what are the main mental issues faced by men in a relationship?
Yeah, actually, in a relationship means like anything. Once, to be frank, it is during the marriage they may face really a bad situation. Actually, to tell is that a relationship between a man and woman, that is marriage, consists of a rules and regulations which define rights, duties, and the privileges of both people. But nowadays is that it is not only women who are suffering in the marriage, but also men are also suffering. It is not only that, there are, let me tell you the positive aspects of marriage, and the studies have told, and then later I will tell you to the negative aspects. In 2002 study, they had shown that the more the educated the woman is, the more happy the husband is like, and there is less risk of coronary heart disease. And also a study done in 1 lakh Americans, which has shown that the men health is more when there is a very good marriage. But it is also opposite when it is coming to a very bad marriage also. Why? Because it starts from the childhood actually, where men are thought to be quite masculine. You should not be crying. You should be hiding your feelings. And if you are hiding, if you are tough enough, you have to endure all the pains, and you should not express yourself. So when this sort of teaching comes from the family members, especially the father, you should not be crying. You are a man, you should not be crying. Then there will be inside some kind of inner thoughts that we cover inside us, especially the man. And when he comes into an abusive relationship, when he is degraded by a female, or he is making down, where he was brought up like he is the highest, he is the masculine person, he is a superman, like that. Immediately, when he is going into a relationship where he was compared with other men, or you are not quite good, he is very good, he is very masculine, then there is some sort of inferiority complex and self downness that is present for the man. And this he cannot be expressing to everyone because it is humiliating for him, and he might feel that he is inadequate in that situation. So this is the initial stages where man lose his self-confidence, and where he will be going. There are no one will believe it also. In this society, when a woman is giving some kind of abusive things, many people don't believe actually. But nowadays, it is coming into the fact that men are also facing a lot of situations, and they are coming. But unfortunately, in our penal courts, like the judgments and articles, there is for women, there is 498A, where any abuse against men, any like physical abuse or cruelty or emotional abuse or dowry harassment, it is there. But there is nothing, a rule is not there for men. And many women have also misused that. Yes, I am a feminist. It doesn't mean that I am always towards women. It's I'm saying feminist means equal rights for men and women. Means as a man, you are equal to me. So that anything injustice happens to the man, I should be also be there. We are equal.
Yeah, exactly. As you have mentioned, we can see globally also a lot of issues are there prevailing in front of the judgment regarding such issues happening, as you have mentioned. And I think, but if they are able to prove, nowadays we are having a lot of digital evidence or lot of evidences are there. So if anyone is accusing anything, if you are able to prove, because a lot of traps are there, like recently we can see in newspaper, honey trapping is one of the thing, because many of the men are not able to express their view. They are unknowingly falling into it, and they will be blackmailed that we will be revealing all these things to your family, your friends and all. But recently we had seen lot of such cases has been studied, and the culprits are coming in front of the public. So lot of issues are happening. So such issues has to be considered, and when we are blindly blaming a person, initially we should find the fact that what is the underlying concept of all these things. We have to see both the sides. So my next question is that what are the causes for all these issues, as you have mentioned, for a men, what are the facing them lot of mental struggles and strains while falling of a relationship or under, what will be the, what are the main reason for this downfall?
About research has shown that about out of 7 members of men, one person is always in an abusive relationship. Abusive relationship, that doesn't mean that it can be only physical. Means we always see one side of thing, that is which is appearing outside, like I am present, my activities, everything. But there is another side, that emotional things, and which are related to our emotions and mental status. We don't concentrate on them. That is what really needed. So when we really see the mental status of both human beings, men and women, when the understanding is there between them, these problems will not be there. But there are situations where we are indirectly homes, various homes are promoting narcissistic characters like dominance and inequality. And if you are, another example I have seen is that when kind of emotional abuse, like if the child is there, your child is not, he will abandon the child from seeing. He's like a husband. I will not let the child be seen from you. Means that she will be taking the child from away from her. That is an emotional abuse. And silent treatment, one of the very dangerous manipulative characters, is that if you don't listen to me, I will be silent for months. And sexual abundance means not, means like not having sex for many days and months. I have, there are various cases. Means if you are not going with my path, I will do this, like silent treatment. I will not talk with you, or I will be physically away from you, or I will be like not allowing the kids to be with you. These are sort of mental and emotional abuses, especially men endure rather than physical, because physically men are so much of strong than women. They have that much of strength in them, but emotionally, how can they express it? Only a person who really experienced it, they will be knowing that what really thought is going on. So these types of mental abuses and manipulations to be taken care when dealing with. That is only done when he realizes and go for counseling and mental help from others. He should not be shy for telling that my wife is physically abusing me or mentally abusing me. There is, it is not, it will not make you less man. It will not make you. And crying is not something bad. You having an emotions, there are hormones, and we have various enzymes and hormones in our brain that are acting, and we will cry. That is a human tendency. It is, it should not be suppressed. In that suppressive mode, you will be going into depression mode. So These are the main causes of emotional abuse. Mainly, I tell this the main cause of these sort of things.
Yeah, so what are the how to build a better relationship with good mental health for both men and women in order to avoid such circumstances of mental downfall?
It should not be after marriage, actually, to say. It should be before marriage, the understanding should be done. See, but let me tell you, we are in a situation when you get engaged and going into marriage in just matter of 1 or 2 months. How do they really understand them? How they don't understand. So they should be given adequate time and leverage to like talk with each other and understand each other, so that no one is perfect, not me, not you, or not anyone is perfect, but a relationship should be maintained. There should be understanding of the differences and helping each other to build a better relationship. It is only should be done before marriage. And once before marriage they are okay with that, then take adequate time before marriage, then go for the relationship. After really going into the relation marriage and going into this sort of, there is a total kind of society involved and children involved, and these sort of mental issues happen only when you don't understand initially the person. So it is not only the men but also for the woman. They should be saying, taking a dare step to come forward and understand. There is nothing wrong in taking time before marriage.
Exactly, and I think that it's my perspective, which now we can see a lot of examples in recent times that whenever a marriage is there for both men and women, there must be some objective. For example, why I am doing this marriage? I need to continue this family life. So, what are the pros and cons in continuing this marriage or this relationship? Some idea, some understanding must be there. After getting married, they should not blame each other. Oh, you are not that person which I have, or your family is not good, you are not having a moral value, you are not having values, you are not having education, you are not having job, you are not having money. Both husband and wife should not blame each other. There is no meaning, because when it is a love marriage, okay, then also they have to understand each other. But in the case of arranged marriage also, nowadays we can see the breakups are happening. The number is increasing. The main reason is that both the male as well as they're not understanding the objectives of the marriage, why they are going to be married. So I think if they are having a better understanding, and as you have mentioned, if they are getting a time to understand each other, such mental downfall can be avoided. Because as you have mentioned, no one is perfect. If one is imperfect, the other has to be matching that perfection. So it is a give and take policy. Yeah. So we can see the role change happening during the life shift for both men and women, from child to an adult, then to a college student, then from that into a career, entering into a career or a business, then the family is coming, then they are becoming parents, then they are becoming grandparents. So all these role change is happening. So what are the mental shift as well as maturity level may be also varying, because as a child he or she may be getting more acceptance in the family. When they are grown up, they will be getting better space to take a decision. And finally, at the all the role change, how it is affecting the mental stability of a man as well as woman.
Uh, I can you repeat it again, Ji? I didn't understand.
As we have discussed, the role change is happening from childhood to adult, then entering into their career or business, then the family life is happening. So now we are discussing the problems faced by man. So the mental stability may be varying, because the responsibility is also changing. As a husband, as a father, then before as a son, before as a child. So all these changes, the role change is happening in life. So how this role change, some anxiety will be there, some excitement will be there. So how it will be affecting, the responsibility will be there, the mental stability of a man as well as woman also.
Yeah, actually, it is marriage is something exciting as well as a horror for few people, to be frank. Yeah. because for a lady going into a new place, it could be like a terror how they will be accepting, because she has the ultimate freedom to go and enjoy her home. And and it is all dependent on the how the husband is managing the family. He should not be stuck between the his father and mother and between the wife. He should not be struggling in between. It is the great responsibility of husband to manage it. And in the same way, wife should manage the same situation in her home by giving respect to his husband, her husband. And so that both will be, her responsibility is that she has to manage in for her home, and in her, and his responsibility is that to manage in his home. So, but most of that, it's about, uh, main thing is between the both of them rather than the family around. It is the both of them who are managing. End of the day, both are the person who will be leading the life till end of the journey of this life. So they have to be managing it. Yes, I don't say that we should leave parents, or you should not, you should leave all the relations, but management is needed. Only thing is happening is that you should not let negativity come in between the relationships. If any negativity comes, yes, you should speak out. You should speak out and do what is needed. But we have ultimate consciousness in our mind with what is wrong and what is right. If we really feel that it's wrong, even though husband or even though wife, you should point out that it is wrong and you have to change. Maybe not in a harsh way, but explain in a soft manner and tell them that it is going in this manner and this will affect it. But when the egos and some kind of self esteem and self communication differences come, then they have to go to counseling, so that they will be opening up what really is happening. So end of the day, communication gap should not be there between the spouse. If there is the communication gap, for sure the relationship will be gone.
As you have mentioned the importance of counseling also, but recently going through some of the latest articles and writings, I have understood one thing, that's that while going to the counseling also, we have to admit the person who is leading the counseling, or the psychologist, or whoever it may be, the person who is doing the counseling. Sometimes the spouse, whether it may be husband or wife, they not be giving that importance to that person. If they're pointing out the fault, he or she may be telling, oh, here that counselor is not good, or that psychology, the counseling way is not good. They don't know anything, they are simply telling something, because they are still avoiding. That is a state of mental problem, mental instability. We can see a lot of issues, because no one will be accepting the faults done by them, and they will be just putting at some other issues to overcome that, not coming to the point. It may be a small thing, but they are just bringing their close knit family, the parents, the siblings, unnecessary way it will be going. So this is a way of mental instability, both the case of men and women. And we can see nowadays a lot of issues are happening, and a lot of issues are happening mainly use of drugs also. We can see, as you have mentioned, when a man is totally undergoing some stress, he is getting some relief. They may be, he may be talking to his friends, or they may be having some use of some drugs. So ultimately it is killing the health as well as the brain also, and unknowingly they are doing lot of uh, it will be entering into a lot of problems. Ultimately they are not knowingly doing, but unknowingly it will lead to suicides as well as severe crimes also. What is your opinion? Any examples can you point out in such a case with the recent scenario?
Yeah, actually, I have seen one of the person when I was 8 years back. So I was doing my internship in my medical college, and I was like in ICU, and there was a person who came with like a very last breath, like he was quite injured and his neck was quite injured. And I came and I was treating the patient because I was intern and I have to see all the people there. And I was asking him initially, are you feeling well and like that? At night, my duty is at night, 9 o'clock, and I was asking him, just normally I asked, why, what is the reason for you to get this much injured? Because there are police people, everyone will be involved. He told that I was about to commit suicide. And why did you do that? Means like, my wife didn't allow me to see my kids. And why your kids you can go, because I am very young at that age. I never seen such sort of scenario, because I have always seen women getting abused but never seen a man getting abused. So I asked him, you are you can take your decision and go. And no, she physically beats me and emotionally harasses me for my child. I felt, is it also possible? I was like, yes, it is possible. And that's where there is something called as Bharya Bharatadra Sangam, that is in Telugu, men who are suffering from wives. There is a association. So
Okay.
yeah, seriously, they are there. So I am one of the member in that. Already he has taken counseling, but he couldn't endure the pain of losing his children. And the last, it was about 10 o'clock, and then last thing I asked him, what do you really want in your life? Then he told, I want my children. Please take care of my children. Please tell my relatives to take care of my children. And the morning he expired. So this is one of the scenario I have seen in my very eyes, that men are victims of women abuse.
Yeah,
Yes,
as you have,
absolutely, that is true.
yeah, this is an example where you have gone through in your life while doing your duty as a doctor. So one more thing I can just point out. Recently, we can see there are a lot of issues like where the wife is undergoing suicide, and after suicide, the family will be there will be a case will be going. Similarly, sometimes the husband may be undergoing a suicide, and they will be in a I mean, lot of issues will be happening, especially the children will be the sufferers. And this can be avoided like understanding the objective of marriage. But sometimes they may not be revealing the use of drugs. Sometimes the husband may be a drug addict, or sometimes the wife may be some. Nowadays we can see women also using drugs. So when they're coming into the relationship only, they will be knowing each other all these things. And maybe due to the it can be a side effects, the character will be changing, and emotional and psychological impact will be leading to some evil acts. Recently in Kerala we are having lot of issues where due to this use of drugs by the husband, they are unknowingly entering into some problems, and ultimately the wife gets suicide. And it will be the end of the life. Actually, these problems cannot be rectified later because it has happened. Similarly, there is a case where the wife killing the husband for getting the property and money of the husband, and ultimately it has happened a series. She will be marrying one person, that person will be dying, and she will be marrying the other person, and this cycle is repeatedly happening, and ultimately the case goes disclosed that this is a kind of planned murder to get the property. So such mental I mean, that objective of both men and women is a kind of mental instability. So just I'm relating with some of the examples as you have mentioned in this case. So how to avoid how while doing a counseling, as you have mentioned, before marriage they have to get enough time to understand each other. So what are the main criteria or areas they have to explore in order to plan before the marriage to understand each other?
Main,
Because it's the
main
time
thing
we
is,
are only showcasing the positiveness. No one will be showcasing the negativity.
yes,
Like
yes.
1 or 2 days or within months also, they we can understand what is the main hidden plan of this person, what are their ideology, how the parents, and sometimes the parents may be also there in the script. They will be. It is like we don't know the objective. So how a person can understand all these things?
Uh, I have to say psychology, a bit of psychology here. So there is some people who are manipulators. They call it manipulators, and this is a narcissistic and borderline personality disorder. And they attract people who are empaths. Means like they are having so much of empathy towards others. They want to please others. They don't keep boundaries for themselves. Means like if I'm getting even hurt, I want to make the person happy. That is very bad. First, I have to love myself, and then I have to love. But first, not keeping myself as a priority and giving everything to the opposite person, if even a male or a female, then the situations gets worsened. That means like he will be or she will be like taking advantage of the empathetic nature of the person. And at one point of time, it would be like means how empaths will be like they will lose the like a volcano, they will erupt. I can't deal with this anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. At that time, their ego will be hurt. And that time, you are not listening to me. And no, I will now manipulate you in a different way that you will be suffering. I, end of the day, a narcissistic personality disorder want their spouse to be sad. This is fact. They are, they feel jealous of other spouse means like achievements. This is a personality disorder. They are about more than 6% of this sort in this world. So much of this personality disorders. Then if they want themselves to be always high, not even why. If a healthy relationship should be like I should be high and my husband should be high. Both should be high. Here it will not be like that. I only should be high and he or she should be always low. I should dominate the world. And this sort of situation will lead to manipulate two things. And then it will go to the emotional abuse initially, then physical abuse. And later on, when the empath parts away from the narcissist, he will not leave the empath again. He will come back into her life or his life again and again. He will not, even though he or she gets married, he will never forget that person. It's like taking revenge on that person. This is what happening in this real life. Then how to do? How to be? Separate yourself from that marriage. Separate. You are not meant to suffer in the marriage. You are meant to live happy in the marriage. I am not promoting divorce, but when the situation is out of hands and you are getting emotionally down and you are losing yourself in this manner and your children are getting affected. In fact, a study has shown that being in a narcissistic relationship affects children so much that they follow the same pattern of the narcissist. So, part, don't worry about it. Part, it's nothing happened. When the counseling or the same emotional abuse and the physical abuse continues, there is nothing wrong in parting.
I think this is one of the supportive measures to overcome the issues, because at one point, as ma'am has mentioned, that revenge mentality, if they are again coming also, their mentality will be on a revenge part, like dominating the other side, whoever it may be. And in that case, in recently, some of the recent cases I had gone through the newspapers as well, television. The thing is that sometimes if they are not, in order to make the other counterpart a little bit down, they will be pointing out the family members associated with him or her, like the mother or the father or the sister or the brother, who are not at all involved or they have not even met more than one time. So simply they will be, oh, your family is not good. They are that kind of person. But directly, indirectly, they will be pointing out lot of quotes and they will be just polishing this person alone. But you are not a problem, but your family may be a problem. Your family is the sole problem for all these issues. But ultimately, this is going to affect the relationship.
Yes.
That mentality may be also a reason. I think it's a kind of psychology where we need a detailed counseling also. So what is the real meaning of partner, and how a partner can support each other in good and worse situation? So I think this is a relevant situation where now we are talking about the issues, mental issues faced by man. as well as I'm relating with the mental issues faced by women also. So the partnership is coming. So what is the role to maintain it in the good and worse situation?
Actually, marriage is very divine and very much necessary for any human being. Any human being. Because research has also shown that being single or divorced or widowed, they have high risk of mental issues, depression, and BP and coronary heart diseases. This has proved. And even woman means like more educated the woman and the more the supporting she is there for the family, again the mental health of the man is increased. And these all are not told by me, but the stats have proven. So marriage really helps our mental health and also our physical health. We really need to be in marriage. But sometimes few things happen that is unfortunate, not unfortunate because we didn't realize it before. We didn't scrutinize it before. So then later on we will be understanding where we have failed, and later we will be like changing our mentality and where we are keeping our boundaries. But husband and wife should be of equal importance. They should be like, when I am low, you are the strength to me. When you are low, I am strength to you. And equal respect should be given to both of them. It doesn't, a respect should never be in terms of money or in terms of materialistic things. It should be in terms of emotionality and personality. Money can come and go at any time, but a person will never come back when her heart was broken. Maybe sometimes, but many a times no. So the importance of a human being is not through money, or but money is very much important, because in marital situation when there is no money, the relationship goes down. But at the same time, you should not degrade the relationship because of money. And there is a self support, not only self support, but also when the spouse is having a very low situations, when she is not able to understand herself, it is, husband should be an educator to her, and he should be like a mentor to her. And same thing, wife should also be a mentor. She should be teaching and she should be independent. A woman who is independent on her own, men will always respect her. For sure, they will respect her. So she should be independent. So it is individual. As a man and woman, they are both different psychologically, physiologically, mentally. They should be taking their own parts, these own responsibilities with equal respect. Because it is not like you should be doing this one and I should be doing only this. No, equal responsibility sharing. My wife should not be suffering. My husband should not be suffering. That empath and emotional connection, if it is there, then there is like love will always win. I don't say that we don't fight. Yes, we fight. How many times people don't fight? I fight many a times. I have to tell that. But yeah, with my sister or my mother or father, I fight. But I don't think that I love them so much. If we really love them so much, sometimes some emotional things will come out. But we don't lose our relationships because we value our relationships.
Well
But
said, well said, very well said. That is a great explanation for this terminology called partner or partnership, whether it may be friendship or a marital relationship or like a parent-child relationship, a sibling relationship. That is the real meaning of partnership. Like blame games won't work there because blaming is easy always. And we can see always the mental issues of a man will be affected by the blaming. Mm, because now we are talking the issues of the mental health of men, we can see like a lot of issues will be there because they will be having a lot of stress also, as you have mentioned, when it is come to a family life, the wife, the children. And if something happens, the mental stability will be totally destroyed, and they will not be able to focus upon their work or their family or themselves. And it will be visible in their appearance, their behavior. We can see many people are going for some relaxation for using drugs, like addiction to alcohol, and they may be discontinuing their job, they may be coming out from their business, they will be facing a lot of failures in life with a small downfall, because they are not able to overcome that downfall with their mental stability. And sometimes the counseling may be helping them. So any of such practical reality have you ever gone through any newspapers or television, or as part of your profession anywhere, such
Yeah,
situation?
I've seen many situations around me, actually, around me, where it is very hard for someone who is very much into the relationship and there is so much of love from one-sidedness. They don't want to go out of the relationship, even the opposite person is abusive, because the only reason they are in love. So, but is that love worth your love? Means like, is that one? Because there is no respect for your love, then why to be in that relationship? So many people tend to be in that relationship because they are dependent, only because they are scared to come out of that situation and start a new living. And they don't want to come out of that zone because they don't know what is the next zone will be like. But they if they come out of that unwell emotional tormenting situation, the situation will be very much beautiful. I can tell you one of my friend who was married, her is love marriage, and she was having a kid, and the husband is very emotionally abusive, but she was literally scared to come out of that relationship only for the child. And finally, she told, please give me divorce. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Then he told, no, I will not give you divorce. I will give only, I want to see you suffer. This is one. And another situation I have seen, I want you to suffer. And when you are suffering, I will be happy. These are the dialogues have come from some of the spouses I have seen around. How cruel is that? Is that called as love? That is called as psychological disorder. And they should come out of it. This needs support from the family, friends, and the people around who are really know the life, who have already faced the sort of situation. They will be understanding better, because in that situation they go into depression and finally end up in suicides like that. But suicide is not the end part. In fact, suicide who are doing are very brave, and they want some kind of relaxation that they end it. They want the relief. They want the relief of that sort. But at that point of time, someone who really gives a support. Your life is not only a marriage. Your life is so much more. I have given to her so many examples, even to him, so many examples of men and women who are surviving without a spouse and have achieved greater heights. And later on, there is another person who later on found her real uh, soulmate, who he always supports her, and she made herself in some kind of, I cannot tell the name, but she really, I have to tell that I am very proud of her to be some very big businesswoman of her. During the marriage, she was not like that. But later, she came out and her soulmate has really helped her like anything. This is when you come out of that abusive relationship. Once you are not, if you are in a relationship, you will be always suffering like that. So come out of that, no problem. If you are suffering, it's not of use. Your life, your parents are not made you to suffer. Go to the marriage and suffer. Come out of the marriage also and find out there is no wrong in getting second and third marriages also. There is no wrong. In fact, we need to be it. But our Indian culture has always said that we have to be with the one thing, but now situations are not like that because of generation changes and everything. When our mental issues are getting compromised, then we have to take a broad step of making ourselves self love to be in a higher position.
And I think there are something related with genetics also of a person.
Yes.
Because we can see the case recently we had gone through some of the articles. It is like that both the case of a boy or girl, they be brought up in particular family, their genetics will be linked with the family, their characteristics. We can see when a woman behaving in a particular way, we can take the history, her mother or her father or her brother or sister, someone will be having the same tendency. Like as you have mentioned earlier, they want to be in a dominant position, they also always want to degrade others, they will not recognize the same kind of genetics may this genetics plays a vital role, and they may not be able to adjust with each other because it is not their fault, it is the part of their gene. Because the characteristics are like that, we can't change the characteristics. Because when we are going into detail while taking the family history, the same thing is happening and it is being repeated. But those times sometimes the mother or the father may be adjusting in order to overcome those situations. But as the generation is passing out at the present scenario or the current generation, the at the end we are not able to bend that beyond a limit, or that elasticity is not happening coming out of the box. Earlier that adjustment is happening, but when we are so the people will be telling, see your father or your mother, your long back we can see they were adjusting. Same problem they are also having as you, the problem is with you, and your father is also having the same problem or your mother is having the same problem, but see how they have managed. That comparison will be there. But those are gone days, which I think, because that is not their fault. As I have mentioned earlier, when a person is using a drug or doing something without consciousness, same thing is happening. The girl or the boy may be behaving such things because I don't know, genetics plays a role or not. What is your opinion?
Absolutely, genetics plays role because genes absolutely passes because even though male child or female child, the mitochondria of the both male and female child will be of mothers. So for sure, the genetics play important role. And while you are mentioning is that at that time the elasticity is there, but now it is not there. At that point of time, women are not going outside; they are totally dependent on the husband, and they are not meant to go out and work. Now it is not like that.
No,
Women are
I'm
going out
asking the
and work.
same thing with the case of man also, with the case of men
Yeah,
also. They are
yeah,
also adjusting with the movement, and one is also
yeah.
adjusting with men. Olden days, maybe because we will be seeing how we are managing that person, that lady, how we are managing that man. But they are leading like give and take policy. They are going, but in the current situation, it is totally changing.
I have seen about two two generations back story where same thing happened and they have parted. It is not happened not only now, but there are situations then also when the family has parted also. But it is a one point of limit that when your self means like health is getting compromised, it's not good because uh, end of the day we are living for ourselves. We are living for ourselves first, and later on if you are happy you can make your spouse happy. If you are yourself are not happy, how can you make others happy? So for sure there will be conflict. So any spouse, any means like husband or wife, if you make the other person happy by understanding them, both will be growing together. But only thing is that lack of understanding and ego clashes. Always ego clashes. So why to have ego clashes? When someone is getting in out of order, other has to be silenced. or other person is getting out of order, other person should be silent, and that situation gives away so much of mental uh, torments away. Because if I'm fighting now and I expect other person to also fight, there will be like a hurricane there. There will be tsunami. If I silence myself, then the situation will be down and other person will be thinking a bit. Both will be shouting at the same time. Nothing will happen apart from getting divorced again with the small things, even though they love each other with the small things. So it is also about adjustment a bit. It is all about managing the emotions. It only comes with experience and observation, and how you are setting the self boundaries and maintaining how you are seeing your mental health of yourself and others. If there is something totally unacceptable, okay, fine. But it doesn't mean that everything you should be cutting. You have to give some period of time for everything. If that period of time is also going up, then you cannot sacrifice yourself.
Yes, we have discussed regarding the genetics also involved in this kind of mental disorders or leading to mental like problems in a relationship. I will just connect one thing also. When a relationship undergoing a problem, sometimes automatically the spouse, whether it may be husband or wife, they'll be thinking, oh, I still remember during the marriage that person has told about your mother like this or your father like this. They will be just telling something that they have heard long back about his or her family, but now they are revealing. So that day itself, we are knowing that this is not a match for our family, but unfortunately, because it's engaged, we ready for the marriage, but now it's revealed your family is like this. No, these are all melodramas happening nowadays. We can see.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
same thing will be from the other side. I know that your family is also like this only. So ultimately, other than the husband and wife, lot it's like a Mahabharata Yuddha, like a lot of family members. In that we'll be having the Bhima, the Shaguni, the Pandavas, the Kauravas, all will be fighting each other. And at particular point, as Sri Krishna has told Arjuna, whether it's your relative also, now it is a war. Just do your job. Just win the war. It will be like that only. So they will be like, they'll be drilled like you need to tell like this, and ultimately they will be going to court. They will be involving lot of this service societies. People will be coming, family members will be coming, and the main intention will be to create the fight only. Then only people can enjoy, because these people are not understanding. Others are playing and enjoying the situation. They will be, for example, the wife relative will be coming to the husband side and telling bad about them to make him happy. Similarly, his relative will be going to the other side and telling they are like this. So both the end they are feeling happy, but ultimately they are the losers. So these are some situations, but what to do? Because when they are realizing at a particular point, time has gone. Time is an important factor. Ultimately, no one is responsible. We are responsible for our own destiny. Like I have mentioned, there will be Shagunis, there will be all these characters will be coming. But at a point of time, whether it is your blood relation or your partner, as in Bhagavad Gita, sometimes the situation makes you fight. So I think it was a detailed session. We have covered topics to topics, starting from the mental issues faced by men in a relationship. As ma'am has started with the discussion of the abuses and given a real-time example which she has undergone through her professional life from a patient. Then after that, we have discussed the other parts of the life also, like what is the importance of a partnership, what are the give and take policies, then the involvement of genetics, then finally clubbing together. It was a vast and in detail discussion with lot of inputs and outputs. So thank you for joining, and I think we will be joining again for some socially relevant topics, which is necessary for the current scenario, for the youngsters, for building a better bonding and understanding, for creating a better society. So I'm leaving to you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.